I as a teacher can only help them to see, but I will not force them to change the way they think or the way they react. But from the home, if the changes in the home is implemented, the school will not have big problems or issues solving the cases of the students. And then you see the home neglect its duty, the school struggles, but they cannot meet up to the needs of these children. And when they are outside the school, they become the property of the society. The society have also failed us. If only we have people that will eventually come up with a solution to cybercrime, to minimal theft in the streets, we'll have clean streets to walk on freely. But it's unfortunate that the thought to want to develop Nigeria to a better place is not coming from our politicians. It's rather coming from the teachers who have seen help trying to raise these young ones to become better people in the future.
Their reactions say it all. The taxing job of a teacher, energy sapping, strength consuming, and constant vocal straining, leaving the teacher exhausted at the end of the day. Teachers are indeed the unsung heroes of every society, pouring their hearts and souls into shaping young minds to become responsible men and women. Their work extends far beyond the confines of the classroom, demanding unparalleled dedication, patience, and resilience. A teacher's day begins long before the school bell rings, always on ground before the arrival of his or her students or pupils. With hours spent on preparing lessons, crafting engaging materials, and tailoring instruction to meet diverse needs of different children.
The schedule of a teacher, you are a mentor, you are a class teacher, you are a motivator, and especially the major work of a teacher is to mold lives, because every day we go to the office, we teach and we mold lives. An office, those in the office can go late to the school, but as a teacher you are expected to be in the school before your pupils, because you have to welcome them, you see them and start molding them as you get immediately you get to school, and you can only do that when you are there before them. So you discover, and that is why one of the documents we have in the school is the time book. And immediately, and most inspectors immediately they come, one of the document, the first document they ask for that time book. So that is it. For me, as a teacher, I get to school every day before 7.
And you close at what time?
Closing time is 2.
Except you have to wait for your children.
Yes, we all close 2, except in the situation where maybe you want to carry out, stay behind to mark your notes, to mark your assignment, they will close 2.
It continues with the reviewing of assignments, offering constructive feedback, and grading papers late into the night. Then comes the attending of meetings, workshops, and trainings where available to stay updated on best practices. As if not enough, in the classroom, many teachers juggle multiple subjects and classes, trying to handle different personalities, adapting on the fly to meet each student's unique needs while creating interactive lessons. They have to think creatively to make complex concepts accessible. Here lies again the burden to manage classrooms, ensure safety, discipline, and inclusivity. Beyond instruction, teachers are saddled with the role of mentoring, especially to students who are struggling, such that they offer guidance and encouragement. Then comes the counseling responsibility to troubled children or youths, providing emotional support and referrals, and then communicating with parents, guardians, and administrators, navigating complex relationships, you may say.
I think there is a diversion left too much, particularly to the teachers from the parents. Parents are, because I believe that this life is garbage in, garbage out. If you have a good upbringing from home, even in schools, There are some students you will see, you will know that from the whom they are coming from, they cannot commit any offense. You can easily pinpoint those people that are prone to committing offense. So it is from the home. If you have a very good background from home, I don't think you have too much to say when it comes to corruption. You will still see something good, you know how to do it. Something bad, nobody will tell you, get out from it because of where you're coming from.
My biggest challenge as a teacher is from our parents. Most of them don't know why God gave them these children, those beautiful angels. They tend to leave the growth, the upbringing, the transfer of values for only teachers to do, forgetting that their homework as parents is also needed. You see, most of us have children who have a high level of juvenile delinquent attitude. Charity, they said, begins at home. The parents only give and send the child to school, expecting the child to mold the teachers to mold the school, not knowing that the intellectual behavior of the child starts at home. When you teach your child to be irresponsible, you don't show the child that he has responsibility toward the growth of the nation, or he has a quota to contribute in the family. You tend to neglect your responsibility as parents. Some parents go as far as bringing in others like domestic staff, so bringing children from their villages. Then your child grows to 10 years old, he cannot even wash his socks. When assignments come, and this person collect the assignment and do for that child. And the school thinks, yes, the child is doing the assignment, not knowing that the parent have neglected their works at home. So when you have those kind of children in school, it's really, really something else.
A teacher is a teacher. A teacher is a counselor. A teacher is one that sets on the right path. Teaching as we know it is an all-encompassing term. So before now, now you see schools bringing in elocution coaches, bringing in things like, I know there is this other one that they've started in secondary schools now, etiquette coaches. Before now, all of that used to be under the purview of the teachers. The teacher looks at your break time, how you eat. A correct student, you're eating too fast. Slow it down, nobody's rushing you. That's etiquette. Don't talk when food is in your mouth. That's etiquette. And all of that is still under the purview of teaching. So if we really, really want to break down what teaching is, it's all encompassing.
Sonye anyị n'ileba anya na ọtụtụ mpụ na nrụrụ aka jupụtara na ụlọ akwụkwọ gọọmenti ndị nọ n'isi obodo Naijiria bụ Abuja, tụmadụ ka o si metụta mmụta na agụmakwụkwọ n'ogo dịgasị iche iche n'ebe ụmụntakịrị nwoke na nwaanyị nọ, ndị ntorobịa, ụmụ nwaanyị tinyekwara ndị nwere nkwarụ. Sonye ihe emereme Leaves and Worms na AD4 TV Radio, ebe a na-eleba anya ma na-atụgharị atụmatụ gọọmenti dịgasị iche iche ka o siri metụta isiokwu a akpụ n'ọnụ. Na-esonyere anyị n'ihe emereme akwa izu ụka ọbụla n'akara mgbasa ozi anyị niile. Ọ bụ AD4 TV Radio na njikọ aka Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism tinyekwara MacArthur Foundation kwadoro ma hụ maka nke a.
We love AD4 TV Radio.
When the final bell rings to announce close of school, teacher stays back and spends hours grading, recording, and analyzing students' progress. They develop and implement individualized education plans, IEPs, for students with special needs, participate in extracurricular activities, sports and clubs, fostering holistic growth and development. The emotional toll is substantial because they bear witness to trauma, to poverty and hardship, carrying the weight of their students' struggles. They manage stress, burnout and self-doubt, often sacrificing personal time and well-being. They confront criticism, skepticism, and bureaucratic red tape, persevering despite systemic challenges. Now, despite these demands, teachers continue to inspire, to motivate, and transform lives. Their work is a labor of love driven by a deep commitment to education and the promise of a brighter future. Their contributions are invaluable, making all sacrifices to shape the next generation.
Everybody believes that the teaching profession is a dumping ground for graduates that do not have job in their relative courses, in the courses they studied. I had an NCE before going for my B.Ed, so I wanted to teach. I had teachers that impacted in me, and they were everything. And then I'm thinking about changing a generation that will become something unique for the world to be better. The only way I can change a generation is by teaching, grooming younger ones to be better, to be responsible and kind humans, most especially in Nigeria. That is what we need. I love what I do. In fact, the child in me comes out when you see me with students. Actually, I'm not too good with my colleagues, but I'm perfect when it comes to students.
But often, when you hear people say a teacher's reward is in heaven, why wait till then and why not here on earth?
Growing up, we were told that teacher's reward is in heaven. Meanwhile, every other occupation and every other career jobs here, their reward starts from here before you go heaven. But then when it gets to teacher, they don't value us. They see us as I think they see teachers as nannies. They are not supposed to be paid well, like it's your job to take care of this. I actually had an argument a few months ago with a parent. I didn't know him. I was just outside the gate and we were talking about an incident that happened, and that particular person said it is the duty of the teachers to correct the children. And I was like, how is that their duty? What's your role as a father? What do you do as a father? I said 90% of time they ruin their children's life and they bring them to school and expect miracle to happen. Now, on our path, we are doing all these things. Sometimes we even go extra mile to make sure we fix the problem, and then we are not still regarded as anything. We've had they pay us below the things we do. The teachers should be paid higher than medical doctors. They should be paid higher than a lot of people. But in Nigeria, even government speaking, they don't pay teachers what they are due. They pay them lesser because they believe that the teaching job is just like I said, probably nanny job. You just do it. As maybe you don't know what you're doing while you studied education in school. You just finish secondary school and you want to hold on to something. That's how they view teachers. If they are viewing teachers with the same respect they view doctors, lawyers, I think teachers will be regarded as well.
Yeah, the reward is in heaven, but it is because we cannot fully pay it here on earth. The reward of somebody choosing to train up the child of another cannot be paid in full by human compensation. That's the only reason why they say the reward of a teacher is in heaven. But it is not that the only place where a teacher should enjoy is heaven. No, I mean, a commendable thing. I think the Lagos State government, they do like this award every year for the best teacher in the state, and the person gets a car. That's a way for you to be like, imagine the level of motivation it would give others that, oh, if my students can motivate me, if their parents can vote for me, public school teacher, I can be the proud owner of a car that I didn't even have to hustle for or buy. That's motivation. So all this nonsense on these heads, even if you don't have money, honor them. Say a kind word to a teacher. Everything is not when we say the word reward, everything is not monetary based. When you see them outside, greet them like an equal, because they are an equal. They are humans like you. So because you work in some fancy office and this person teaches, does not make you a better human than them. So give them that respect, put that honor there, reward them here. Then when they get to heaven, you will stand by and then watch God reward them again.
This brings into view the proposal to increase the retirement age of teachers from 60 to 65 years old, which ignited fierce debates across the education sector, or 40 years of service. In 2015, the Nigerian Union of Teachers proposed a 65-year retirement age and 40 years of service for teachers. This dragged for 5 whole years till 2020. The federal government again proposed a new retirement age of 65 years or 40 years of service for teachers as part of the pension reform bill.
In a way, it's a good idea and it's not compulsory. Yes, it's not compulsory. And they have made it in a way that if you think you are healthy enough to continue up to 65 years, you apply. You apply, and not just apply. After applying, you will do series of medical checkup. Yes, you will fill forms and you will be interviewed. After the screening, the whole screening, if it is confirmed that you are healthy enough to continue, then they approve. But if they think after more screening and that you are not too healthy, too strong to continue, you will be retired at 60. So it's not compulsory. It is after you pass the screen.
On one hand, proponents argue that this change would help alleviate the looming teacher shortage, retain seasoned educators, and reduce the financial burden on pension funds. Others vehemently disagree, citing concerns that it will lead to stagnation, discourage younger teachers from entering the profession, and fail to address the root causes of teacher burnout.
We have a lot of deficits in Nigeria. I don't even, except in only the negative index, that's where we have a surplus. From teacher to student ratio, doctor to patient ratio, it's appalling, because you get into a class, there are 60 students in that class, 60 students, and then there is just you as a teacher. There's already a problem. The class is stuffy. It's 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Everybody wants out. The place is like they've put you in a chicken house. So even you as a teacher, the next thing you want to do is you want to get out of that class. The students, the same thing. Now, how would they listen properly to you? You compare that to a class of 12 students and one teacher. Air conditioned, the infrastructures are right. Who do you think is going to assimilate more? Of course, the ones with the lesser students. The teacher is also able to see everybody. Oh, you're not writing. Why? There is no teacher that will be able to see somebody at the back of the class when they are standing in front of 60 students. It's not going to happen. They are not superhuman. And if they move across the class, when they get to the back, they can't see the person in front anymore. So, and that impacts students, because a lot of students that we think are dull are actually not dull. It's just because they didn't have this hands-on teaching experience. So that teacher to student ratio and the deficit of infrastructure that we have is going to continue in shortchanging the students, because at the end of the day, the bulk of all of this falls back to the students. Because students that are supposed to be smart, students that are supposed to be up and doing, they will just barely go by. And it's not because of any fault of their own or the fault of the teacher, but because this system is not allowing them to shine.
Ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ètò Leaves and Worms lórí ẹ̀rọ rédíò AD for TV radio, bí a ó ṣe máa fojú lámẹ̀yìntàn wo àwọn ìwà ìbàjẹ́ lórí ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ní gbogbo ẹ̀ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ní àwọn ilé ìwé ìjọba tó wà nílùú Àbújá tí ń ṣe olú ìlú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà, àti ipa irúfẹ́ ìwà ìbàjẹ́ náà máa ń kó lórí àwọn ọ̀dọ́mọdébìnrin, ọ̀dọ́mọdékùnrin, àwọn àkàndá ènìyàn, àwọn obìnrin àti ọ̀dọ́ lápapọ̀. Bákan náà lórí ètò yìí a ó tún máa ṣàgbéyẹ̀wò nípa àwọn ètò ìlànà ìjọba tó ṣe pàtàkì àti ipa tí wọ́n ń kó lórí àwọn olùgbé ìlú Àbújá. Ẹ fojú sọ́nà bí a ó ṣe máa jẹ̀gbádùn ètò alárinrin yìí lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀. Ilé-iṣẹ́ AD for TV radio pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ ẹ̀ka ilé-iṣẹ́ Wọlé Ṣóyínká lórí ètò ìròyìn ìwádìí ló ṣe atọ́kùn ètò yìí pẹ̀lú ìrànlọ́wọ́ àjọ MacArthur Foundation.
Some respondents who spoke to AD4 TV radio expressed concerns that teachers are not getting younger and the job is getting tougher. Hence, increasing the retirement age will only exacerbate burnout and drive even more teachers out of the profession.
Come and check those people at 64 years going to classes. Sometimes you are just there for being there sick, just to collect the money. You understand? Because we are not there because the person is experienced, because the person wants to do the job. You are just there because of the money that you get between that 60 to 65 years. So if there is a way they can do it where those money that are supposed to be paid between that 31 years to 35 years can be injected into your money for you to retire at 60 years and make chance for them, for our youth, I think it would be a better package.
This sentiment is echoed by a middle-aged teacher who confessed he's been teaching for over 25 years and is already exhausted, hence deserves to retire and enjoy his golden years.
For somebody like me, I have mixed feeling about it. It's good for some people that may be blatant that you want to work for 65 years, because I believe that if there is a very good package for you, there is no need of you working for up to 65 years. If somebody is, let me say, 34, 35 years, you may have children at home. Yes. It should be in your mind that that position you're occupying, that you have refused to retire or you did not retire at the age of 30 years, you're occupying somebody's position. So a good package should be paid to them, and you retire at 60 years. There is nothing wrong with it. We have some people that retire at 55 years. Are they doing very bad? We have some people that retire at the age of 50 years. Are they doing bad? So is it until somebody stays 70 years in somewhere and then you won't have time for your grandchildren and the rest of them? Some people want to retire and go and play with their grandchildren instead of emphasizing more on that 65.
On the other hand, education policymakers propose that raising the retirement age would allow experienced teachers to continue contributing to the education system. We're not asking teachers to work until they're 70. We're simply recognizing that 60 is no longer the benchmark for retirement, and many teachers are still passionate and capable at 65, the opinion of a policymaker. Maria Johnson, a high school teacher, agrees with the proposal, saying she loves her job and is not ready to retire yet. She says she still thinks she has a lot to offer and would like the option to continue teaching if she chooses to.
To be sincere, there are a lot of benefits if you are healthy, especially, shall I say, in the case of men. You know, most times you discover men marry late and they still have some of their kids in school. And since most time when you retire, your benefits are not given to you immediately. It takes some time, so it's better you work towards it and prepare, and at least train your children and retire. But to me, if you have finished training your children and they are not too strong, you retire.
However, younger teachers worry about the potential impact on their careers. If older teachers stay longer, it blocks opportunities for younger teachers to advance. It's already hard enough to get a job in the field, some argue, hence no need for more obstacles.
If you work for 60 years and retire, remember that for you to get to 65 years or 35 years in service, you have been a director, assistant director, or deputy director. I believe 60 years when you retire, that position you are occupying are the position that one director can employ like 5 or 6 graduates. So the more you occupy that position, the more unemployment we have. So I believe they should repackage the motivation for the teaching profession instead of emphasizing much on 65 years that people are calculating.
Policymakers counter the proposal, which includes provision for phased retirement and mentorship programs, allowing older teachers to transition into advisory roles and pave the way for younger colleagues.
I had a professor that taught me, I think that was third year, but he knew his onions and he taught well. But the reality of things is, such a person should not have to teach. Such a person should not have to teach because, of course, at that point, aging has already set in. In a proper society, such a person should be enjoying their retirement. So, I mean, I do believe that maybe for those that are in the upper category who do not need to be so flexible, we could see maybe a 2 to 3 year deviation from the standard civil service retirement age, because at that point we would then now have to wonder, are you the one teaching the students, or are the students teaching you? Because again, you know that the normal curve of a human being, we get taken care of at one point as babies, then we grow up, and then we return to that curve where we take care of people that are now elderly, and then we also become elderly, needing care from those that are younger.
Despite these assurances, teacher unions remain skeptical, claiming they've seen promises of reforms before and only have them forgotten or underfunded. As the education community awaits a decision, one thing is clear: the future of teachers hangs in the balance. Resolving the controversy surrounding teacher retirement age requires renounced understanding of the profession's unique challenges and rewards. By listening to the concerns of teachers, policymakers and stakeholders, educators can work towards creating a more sustainable, supportive and effective education system for all. The debate rages on, with no clear end in sight. But one thing is certain: the impact of this decision will be felt for generations to come. Will the government find a solution that balances the needs of both experienced and aspiring teachers? Only time will tell. As Nigeria ponders the future of education, it is pertinent to note that dedicated teachers who have spent their lives shaping young minds, their passion, expertise and well-being are the foundation upon which Nigeria's education system is built. The clock is ticking, and the decision on teacher retirement age is already up. Will policymakers prioritize the needs of teachers, or will the status quo prevail? The education community holds its breath, awaiting a decision that will shape the future of teaching in Nigeria and in the FCT in particular.